Okay, so dear Dharma practitioners, be comfortable yourself and relax your body. Keep your back straight, neck head straight in one line, and your right palm on your left. So gently close your eyes and bring your attention to this bell sound. And while you're focusing to the sound, mentally relax your body, relax your mind, and relax your breathing with your thoughts. So do nothing extra. Just follow the sound, please. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Homage to the blessed one, the exalted one, the fully enlightened one. So, dear Dharma practitioners, before we start our practice session, as usual, we'll take few minutes for ourselves to be very clear with the path we practice. So, as most of you know, when it comes to meditation, there are many kind of methods, patterns, and there are many ideas day by day keep coming to us. So as informations, when we gather all the ideas, we have to be very careful. And at the same time, when it become with lot of informations, and sometimes the very authentic, the very realistic information can disappear. And the other thing is, as you know, most of time, this spiritual path today is it's a kind of like a very corrupted, subject now. But still, no one wrong for that. That is the very nature of everything. So it is our own responsibility that whatever that outside that we find, it is our own personal responsibility to get the best out of it. So how you can do that? So when we go back to the Buddha's character, because we always take the example from the Buddha's character, that will help for you to get into the very authentic, organic way of knowledge. So as Prince Siddhartha, he had a very luxurious life. And as you know, when he left the palace, it's his own intention. No one told him. And he used to do party, had a lot of, facilities around him. But still, just imagine that he himself, without knowing even that the wife was there, best friends were used to be there, no one told him to do that. It's just his own intention. That's we call the self-motivation. So another thing is that when it comes to that, after he left the palace, from that point, he went to many good teachers during that time. They were very famous. And there used to be a lot of that the people followed that teachers, but still when he went to that, each and every time himself, he took his own decision. That each and every moment of that decision he took became a very turning point towards the wisdom. And then went to the poor ascetics, and they used to practice very, hard, difficult, kind of like ascetic practice. And then after that, he himself understood that doesn't work. For himself, it was so hard, difficult, he almost died. And then himself, he took the decision, looking at his own experience, looking at himself. And he took a decision to get out of that all and to little bit take care himself, get the strength back, get the very physical comfort a little bit back. And that all from the beginning to till he attaining to the enlightenment, and the last day that he sat under the tree, that the Vesak full moon night, that himself he motivated, he himself determined, this is the day that without attaining to the Buddhahood, I'm not going to get out of this seat. So that determination came out of, just imagine, from the beginning through this journey that he went through, taking decisions himself, looking at his own experience, not looking at that outside, that whatever the other people keep going. And he went through himself. And then he attained to the Buddhahood. So this is a very important that the sign, the method, the skill that you have to remember when you practice meditation, especially when it goes towards the vipassana practice. This self-motivation. Because most of time that when we look our own inner practice, when we look our day-to-day life, we practice meditation, we practice just the name of, tranquility meditation, we practice sometimes the vipassana. So as example, there are, very famous vipassana centers, and sometimes people go for 10-day practice. And then there is a friend come and tell, oh, I went to this practice, that practice, and then maybe just hearing that, you think, oh, I want to go. But it is totally different than when it comes from the self-motivation, because that it's your own goal, that intention to reach to the goal. You may go because that your friend told, oh, go, you have to go and practice this way. But here, look at the Prince Siddhartha's character until he gets into the Buddhahood. The quality of the very nature of that, again, this self-motivation. Listening and observing and recognizing its own behavior, the character, the experience, without bounding or without holding or without being self-centered, without grasping that his own experience, he start to investigate. That is a very powerful skill that you have to develop. Just imagine now, and as you know, in this spiritual journey, that the prints are very important. But when it comes to the deeper, very authentic, the very early age of this teachings, when we look that most of the people came to the the community of Sangha, that they most of came themselves, they had the kind of like a self-motivation. And once they start to look, then maybe there are people, they found that the same path and walks in the same path, and then they share the Dharma. Otherwise, sometimes we have a wrong understanding about this Kalyana Mitra, or the good friends, the profitable friends, kind of like, oh, you have a different way of understanding, and you think, oh, maybe there is a teacher, or maybe there is a friend, or maybe there is somebody will appear to you and brainwash you and will give the wisdom to you and put you to the liberation. No one going to do that. There is no survivor, that no one going to do the service like that way. This is something that you have to be very clear. There is no one going to protect you. There is no one going to come and rescue you in this samsaric journey. But until you get this self-motivation, the self-intention, go towards the Dharma. Once you start, just imagine in the very beginning of the Bodhisattva journey, there was no anybody knew who's the Buddha. There's no any teachings, but still his mother told him, may you attain the Buddhahood. And then he heard the word, and then he started to search. That is how he start to collect the thing. So this is, once you have the right self-motivation, remember that everything can become a guideline. That everything that you see, hear, smell, taste, feel can become a teacher. That everything that you experience can become Dharma. So that is what you have to understand, and that is where you have to tune to. So otherwise, our self-motivation is something else. And we keep going towards the Dharma, look for liberation or the transformation or the Nibbana, just, merely we have kind of like the intention just to experience it, but our deeper self-motivation, to keep the ownership with me, myself, and then I want to attain to liberation, me. That is totally different. So then, always remember, when it comes to yourself, Dharma or the truth, or even you can, just make it very simple. The truth, what is the truth? And are you willing to experience that? So if you, and yourself, when you look, how you can recognize it is not the truth. So the very nature of your awareness, so your consciousness, remember, until it reaches to the truth or to the depth, until it's reached to the Dharma, it will never going to find the satisfaction. You will see something missing. That missing part, the gap that you have, another way we call it as the desire. That is where the desire is. As example, so just imagine the fire, when you want to make the fire, this burning fire that we can take as the desire. So just imagine if you cover this top of this wood with something tight, even if it is keep burning, what will happen? It going to stop. Because to have the fire, it always needs the gap. So your desire means there is a gap inside you. When you have, kind of like the desire means self-centered, look for the satisfaction, and when it is there, that wanting, always look for something, with open eyes, closed eyes, sleeping, walking, and always it go towards something. So why it happened? Because you should know there's empty space in you. And maybe it can happen while we practice meditation also. So then, once you fill that gap, then there's no way to that the desire rise. So that filling that gap, it's not collecting information and put there. Just imagine how many information you had more than any other time in the human history. We are capable to reach to the informations. Within 1 hour, you can reach to the 100 years informations. And if you take few days, you can go to online and you have the access to some, huge library or the book collections and, so much, just imagine, but still, what happened to our human mind? Do you think we find that, the gap? No. Your gap can close only by the truth, not by informations. Maybe some informations become a ladder path. Maybe some informations can take you towards the truth, but information not going to become the truth. That is the key point. But the mistake we does, we hold the information. It's kind of like we hold the ladder as the truth or the destination. We hold the vehicle as the destination. No, the vehicle can take us to the destination, but the vehicle can't be the destination. So like that, you have to be very clear with yourself. The informations can take you to the truth, but the information can't be the truth. So that's why the meditation, before the meditation that we can share the information. So then you have to remember, don't hold that information as the destination. Use that and reach to the destination. So today I'm going to tell you another method, how you can. It's so beautiful. That is in the Dharma, and that is the very authentic teachings. It's so beautiful. Then yesterday that we had that regarding the 4 elements, and that when it comes to that 4 elements, that is a very authentic, deeper way of getting access to the truth. So this is another method that we use to get into the same Dharma. So as when it comes to the Vipassana meditation, so as you know, we go with the 4 foundations. So in that 4 foundation, Kaya-anupassana, contemplating the body, Chitta-anupassana, contemplating the thoughts or the mind, and the Dhamma-anupassana, contemplating the phenomena, and the Vedana-anupassana, contemplating the sensation. So, and that is a kind of like a method we keep practice. But when you master the Vipassana, what happens? And there was an incident happened during the Buddha's time. So we go with that incident, and then we'll see how that there is another avenue, there is another window that we gain the same thing. We reach to the same, but it is another window. So there was a man called Bahir, and he used to practice different yogic methods, meditation, and he used to believe he attained to the enlightenment. He was liberated. But still, as I mentioned in the beginning, that he felt the gap. That means the wanting desire. But there was no one to, have a conversation or to clarify himself. And people used to accept him as a, enlightened person. And then what happened? He can't ask from the, the followers about it. So somehow he heard there's a Buddha. And then he thought, oh, if there is a Buddha, I can go and have a conversation and I can be clarify about myself. See the self-motivation. I can be clarify about myself. That is what we don't have. And if you look all the, go to the early Buddha's teaching and see that all the people came to Buddha, look, they all had the self-motivation. Not because their father told, go do this. No, somebody else told, you go do this, or like that. They deeper had the self-motivation. So that's why I mentioned in the beginning, always remember in your journey, no matter what, maybe you have to do many things, as a husband, wife, children, parents, mother, father, friends, partner, even as monk ourselves, or the disciples. So we do a lot of, things in day-to-day life with the society. But go towards the Dharma or the truth. Remember, don't look for help or don't look for advice and don't look for kind of like somebody will push you to that. No, it may not going to happen. For a drink, for alcohol, for a cigarette, for a party, dance, many. But to go towards the Dharma, don't look for that. It's always keep it inside you. It's your personal responsibility, and always keep the self-motivation day by day, with each and every way, move on. So the Bahia also had the same thing, and that is one of the important things that you can recognize. Whoever come towards the Dharma, and they don't go back most of the time, because once you have that self-motivation, you go for that. So somehow the Bahia found the Buddha, and that time what happened? The Buddha went around, around the village for, the alms. That it's a lunchtime. He, as a bhikkhu, during that time, in that culture, monks take a begging bowl and go house to house, look for food. That's the very way of getting free food. It's a really, the bhikkhu is another way. It's the bhikshu. It's kind of like, just they asking food just to survive, and especially only one meal. It's just the lunch. And if you have the free lunch, you have everything. You're good. So they had only that minimum, way of, that the begging for that lunch. And so the Buddha used to go, for alms. So then Bahia met, and then he wanted to have the conversation. Now, he met the Buddha, and he asked, please, tell me what is this and how, what is this liberation? What is this? How I can get this? And then the Buddha said, Bahya, this is not the time, because I'm, this is the lunch time and I just go for, looking for food. And then again he asks, he don't care about the lunch, he don't care about the food. So again he asks, and somehow for the third time when he asks that what the Buddha said, that whatever you see, in the scene will be merely the scene. In the heard, that, whatever you heard will be merely the heard. And the thought will be merely the thought. And that what you know will be merely the knowing. So like that when the Buddha explained that, it's a very, the simple, very kind of like a very short way of, explaining that what is this happening in deeply. When you see something, just be with that, what you see. When you hear, see that is the meditation. When you hear something, just be with that hearing. It's just merely this, the hearing, the smelling, just merely the smelling. And thoughts, when the thoughts arise, this is merely the thoughts. So like that, when you can be with the moment, that is the very simple thing. When you can be with the moment, knowingly you are in the moment, that is the place you transform. So the same thing, Kaya Anupassana, contemplating the body, sensation, the same thing, that it take you to the moment to recognize and be with the experience. But what happened? When you settle down with that, what happened? It deeply take you to the connection, or deeply take you to the understanding. That means your perception itself become your recognition or the wisdom. Then what disappear? The gap of thinking. So what does that mean then? So the mean, when we hear something, smell something, taste something, feel something, think something, what happens? Our thoughts, our imagination, our mental formations start to make us disconnect from the moment and take us to something. That is where we keep becoming again and again and again and again. That is where create the gap. So then, in that disconnection, what happened? When you experience something, maybe we go towards it, or otherwise, what happened? We take it. So we can go into it, or otherwise we can take it. The both way, we can't find the freedom. So then remember yourself. You can hear, smell, taste, feel. Can just imagine, we all experience that. So can you experience something without jumping to it, or without going to it, or without taking it? That's the technique. So then if you can do that with your all five senses, you will recognize what the Buddha taught to the Baya. And that is the all this, through the meditation, that is what we're trying to reach. Because otherwise, and as you know, sometimes when we experience with the eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind, if we go into it, what will happen? We lose our balance. And that's mean disconnection or the disturb. And when we take that into us, what will happen? Disconnection or the disturb. Wherever we go with it. So this both way, we become a debtor. So that is where the comparison arises. Once you have the comparison, that is where the unsatisfaction arises. And once you have the unsatisfaction, that is where the greed, hatred, and the delusion arise. So that kind of like the, the system. So then yourself remember. Try little by little, moment by moment in day-to-day life. Maybe we practice meditation, we keep our back straight, neck straight, close our eyes, so kind of like, but now open your eyes, walking, going here and there and doing things yourself, in engaging with things. Still, now you know how to practice, or how to develop your more deeper way of the very authentic, very natural, very organic way of vipassana, or the Buddha's teaching to bring the transformation. So what is the method? Don't go to it or don't take it, but experience it. So with that, let's get into practice a little bit. So your right palm on your left and neck head straight in one line, and be comfortable with your posture. And bring your attention to your body, please, and scan head to toes yourself and say Sopatveva, oh, may I be well and happy, 3 times. Take a moment and think. We gathered here in this moment to practice this ancient meditation technique. All the Buddhas, all the enlightened masters followed this path and achieved wisdom. So we also gathered here to accumulate that knowledge. In this moment with this sitting, may my body become more comfortable, may my breath be more smooth, may no difficulties come to me, may all the success come to me. Also think for a moment, this is the last moment we're spending in this very lifetime, and detach your mind from all your past memories and as well as any kind of future thoughts. Just try to remain in the present moment, observing the sensation of your inhalations and exhalations. So in the beginning, deeply and gently, breathe in, breathe out 3 times, please. And allow your inhalations, exhalations happen itself. And when it happens through the sensation, recognize it. Do nothing extra. Bring attention to your body, please, and observe your posture. We cultivate loving kindness and compassion in our heart and radiate it as a light through entire your compound, village, city, state, country, world, around this universe. Also as far as you can through galaxies, other planets, stars. Reminding yourself like this. With clear intention, mentally repeat after me. May all living beings in this universe be well and happy. May everyone be happy and safe. And may their hearts be filled with joy. May all living beings live in security and in peace. Beings who are frail or strong, tall or short, big or small, visible or not visible, near or far away. Already born or yet to be born. May all of them dwell in perfect tranquility. Let no one do harm to anyone. Let no one put the life of anyone in danger. Let no one out of anger or ill will wish anyone any harm. Expand the loving kindness and compassion beginning from your heart. Forward. Visualize yourself and send it as a light. To your backside. To your left side. And to your right side. Downward. And upward. To all 6 directions at once, like the moon, the sun, spread the light, spread the energy, without any condition, without any limitation, without any resistance or without any judgment. Let your heart to shine with the loving kindness and compassion from the bottom of it, with the maximum effort to the highest, wishing yourself, may all living beings in this universe be well and happy. Say sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So first of all, we offer this practice to the great qualities of the Buddha, Dhamma, and the Sangha. And also by the power of this meritorious deed, may all of us attain to the supreme bliss of Nibbana. May all your guardian angels and deities will receive these merits and increase their longevity and protect all of you from any kind of planetary influences or any ill effects. Ittavata cha amni sampadam punya sampadam sabbe deva numodantu sabba sampatti siddhya sabbe bhuta numodantu sabba sampatti siddhya sabbe satta numodantu sabba sampatti siddhya Imaya dhammanu dhamma patipattiya buddham pujemi dhammam pujemi sangham pujemi Attaya imaya patipattiya jati jara vyadi maranam ha paribunjissami idam me punya kammang asavakkaya vahang hotu sabba dukkha pamuncatu. Bless you.